Since we started using GenerateBlocks, the grid block has been the default way to create multiple column layouts inside of the builder. When Flex was introduced, we were able to replicate some of those layouts using the Flex controls, but I've always found using Flex to create multi-column layouts kind of a pain in the butt. However, GenerateBlocks has introduced CSS Grid, and for me, this is the death of the grid block. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can start using CSS Grid instead of cluttering up your DOM with extra elements from the grid block. If that sounds like something you're interested in, stick around and let's get started. Now, before we get started, I am going to warn you, if you've just wrapped your head around how Flex works, CSS Grid might throw you for a loop. However, if you were to start from scratch without knowledge of CSS Grid or Flexbox, I think CSS Grid is actually the simpler one to use. Now, in this video, I'm just going to be showing you the basics of how to get started with CSS Grid, but down in the video description below, I'm going to link a bunch of resources on all the different videos I've used to pick up all my tips and tricks with CSS Grid. So let's go ahead and get started here. The first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and add a container to my page, and we'll add a inner container inside of that. Now I'll just go back to this outer container. I already have a class set up to give this section a little bit of padding, so I'm going to add that just to give us a little bit of working room. Now here inside this container is where we would typically go ahead and add our grid block if we wanted to do something like a 3-column layout. But we're not going to do that. We're actually going to use this inner container to set our grid. So here inside of the add a style box, I'm going to call this demo-grid. And we'll go ahead and hit create. And we're going to start this with an empty style. Here under layout, then display, we can now choose grid from the drop-down menu. This gives us the option to set our grid template columns and our grid template rows. Again, if you're not familiar with that terminology, definitely check out the videos down in the description, which is going to help you understand all of these different elements. But like I promised today, we're just going to be getting started, and thankfully GenerateBlocks has built in some really intuitive helper features into this system. So here over on the right-hand side under grid template columns, we can see choose a preset. When we click on that, you're going to see some options that look very familiar. In fact, these are almost exactly what you'd get if you added the grid block to your page. Here, I can hover over this 3-column layout and go ahead and click on that. When I did that, it automatically filled this in with the instructions to create a simple 3-column grid. So with that in place, we'll go ahead and add our 3 containers inside of this container. So here, I'll go ahead and add container, and I'm going to use the keyboard shortcut to add 3 of those. I'll go ahead and grab all 3 of these, and I'm just going to style them at the block level just so we can see something on our page. We'll go ahead and give them a blue background and a minimum of height of 200 pixels. We'll go back to our container and back to our demo grid class. Here under layout, you can see what it's done for the instructions for grid is repeat 3-1-FR. The FR unit is a really important unit in CSS Grid, so if you're not familiar with that, there'll definitely be a link down in the description below that goes over the FR unit. Besides the grid template columns, which you'll use every time you set up grid, we also have the option for grid template rows if you want to go ahead and set up explicit rows. However, one of the beauties of CSS Grid is that it will have implicit rows by default. So if we go ahead and grab this container and use our keyboard shortcut to duplicate it, you can see it just continues filling up more and more rows, even though we didn't give it any instructions for the rows. It will just go ahead and keep repeating those as needed. Now, down here, we also have the option for column and row gap. So let's go ahead and give this 20 pixels of column gap and 20 pixels of row gap. And now we can see each cell inside of our grid a lot more clear. If you need to change the style of your grid, you can go back into these presets and go ahead and click through the different layouts. All of these options are going to be really familiar if you're used to using the grid block. However, you have ultimate control here if you learn a little bit about how to write the CSS for CSS Grid. I'm going to go ahead and show you one of my favorite setups here. Like I said, there are almost an infinite number of possibilities in this, but I'm going to show you one that I use a lot. We'll go ahead and delete out all the instructions for the grid template rows and start from scratch. What I'm going to do here is type in the word repeat, and then we'll open our parentheses. In here, I'm going to type in auto-fit and then a comma. So essentially what we've done so far is say we want to repeat whatever this instruction is, and we want to auto fit these columns. But now we need to give it some instructions of how big these columns should be. So what we're going to do here is do min max, and we're going to set our minimum size. So we're going to say we want a column to never be smaller than 250 pixels. Then we'll do a comma and do 1 FR, which again goes back to the fractional unit, which is really handy here. I'll go ahead and finish this command by giving it 2 close parentheses to close out our min-max function, as well as our repeat function. So what we have now is repeat auto fit, which means we're going to auto fit as many columns as we can. And those columns are going to be a minimum of 250 pixels and a maximum of 1 FR. Now, why would I go to all this trouble when I could just use one of the presets? The thing I love most about this setup for Grid is it's automatically responsive. Basically, these columns are never going to get smaller than 250 pixels, and when there's not enough room for them, they'll go ahead and automatically stack. So let's take a look at how this works. We'll go ahead and click on our tablet view, and we can see it went from 4 columns to 2 columns automatically. We didn't have to set that change. All we did is say, hey, you could never get smaller than 250 pixels wide, and now our browser's doing all the math to decide how many columns there should be. Now, if we go down to mobile, you can see it's gone to 1 column. So this for me is a great way to set up different column layouts. Now, you do have to play with this number. This is a little bit magic numbery, but if you're working with some kind of design in Figma, you can see kind of what is the optimal size for this card. Here at 250 pixels, we end up getting 4 rows across based on how wide our container is, but we could change this to 350 and you can see now only 3 fit. So with this system, you can really optimize how wide you want your columns to be. Now I really hesitate to go too deep into CSS Grid in this little crash course, but I can't help myself from showing you how you can actually make columns span multiple rows or columns. So we're going to take a quick look at that. But again, there's so much to cover when it comes to CSS Grid. We can't possibly do it all here in this one video. But let's go ahead and take a look at how we can make these different children behave inside of a grid. Back here inside my demo, I'm going to go ahead and select this first column inside of my grid. To be able to access all those controls, we'll have to go ahead and give this a class. So I'm going to call this demo grid first child. Now, this is obviously not a great class name, but it's just for demo purposes, and it will give us a starting point. So here under layout, I can go down to our grid column. So right now it's just taking up 1 cell inside the grid. But let's say we wanted to make this cell take up 2 spots in the grid horizontally. We can do that by going here to grid column and doing 1/3. So now it's going from the first line here through the second one and all the way to the third one. So we can also change this to span the entire width. If we do 1/4, you can see it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like I said, there is a ton to cover when it comes to CSS Grid, and I've tried to put all the best resources down in the video description below. As I create more videos throughout the year, you'll see me using CSS Grid more and more, and I think you'll be able to pick up some tips and tricks here and there. It could be overwhelming to try to learn all of this at once, so I would really encourage you to just start using the display grid and choosing from some of the presets if you're new to CSS Grid. As you learn more tips and tricks, you can start incorporating those inside your tool belt. Hopefully you learned something new in this video. If you did, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. I'm trying to cover all the new features inside GenerateBlocks, so make sure to hit subscribe if you want to keep up with all of those, and we'll see you in the next video.